because your body looks right. It's about to be one hell of a night. We're about to have one hell of a night. Tonight there's nothing I wouldn't try. Give you a shot because your body looks right. It's about to be one hell of a night. We're about to have one hell of a night. Tonight there's nothing I wouldn't try. Give you a shot because your body looks right. It's about to be one hell of a night.
Man, you come straight out of a comic.
Just realized I was muted. What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Straight Outta a Comic Book. I am your host, Will Pharaoh, and we got a lot to talk about on today's episode. A lot has happened within the past week. The PlayStation's State of Play dropped yesterday. A lot of movie news, a lot of television news, and so we really just got a lot to cover. So I think the best thing to do is start off in the video game realm. But before we do that, just want to say a shout out to everybody that is joining across all 5 streams that are going on right now. From Facebook to YouTube to Twitch as well. Thank you all joining me on this Saturday edition of Straight Out of a Comic Book. So let's not waste any time and let's jump into it. As I said to just now, a few seconds ago, I was going to say it like I said it yesterday or something like that. We had the PlayStation State of Play drop yesterday. A whole bunch of announcements that came out. One of the big ones that a lot of people took away was that Thor Ragnarok is going to be coming to PC. Finally, the second installment to the new reboot of God of War, Ragnarok, featuring some of the Norse gods like Thor, Zeus, of course, and everyone in a not Zeus. I'm sorry, Odin, the other OG, Mr. Odin. And so the game is officially coming to PC, and so I think for people that do play the PC and that's very dedicated to it, this is a great addition to the game. But more importantly, let's just keep facts straight. I'm ready to see what these mods are going to be in God of War Ragnarok. That's what I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see the craziness that people put in this video game. I've seen it before with the regular God of War when you saw Homer Simpson fighting Fea's son and everything. Those come from those mods on the PC. And I just look forward to seeing who they are going to throw in this game, what kind of mods are going to come out. And I just want to see them do some of the crazy stuff. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing Homer again fight Odin or put Peter Griffin in there knocking out Thor and he's like, nah, and whatnot. So that's what I look forward to. So I'm happy that these were one of the announcements that were put out. And I even agree with some of the cats in the chat. Sage D over on YouTube has said the next game, if they have another one, should introduce the Egyptian gods. And I could not agree more. Sage, could not agree more with you on that. I think the Egyptian god should be next, that Kratos has to battle, has to go after. But also, too, though, I wouldn't mind seeing some of the Chinese mythology come out, too. I know that we've had like the Assassin's Creed Shadows about to drop. We also have Ghost of Tsushima, so that's understandable too. But I've never really seen them like jump into like their gods that they may have praised during like older times and everything. So I actually wouldn't mind seeing Kratos go after them and whatnot. But I think the more popular version that would come is, to Sage D's point, I think Egyptian gods would probably be the next step that would come in for this. And I just love the simple fact of just the underlining story that's behind God of War of just like, yo, white people ruin everything. This man has destroyed 2 mythologies already. This man fucked up Greek mythology, just fucked up Norse mythology, and then go fuck up Egyptian mythology. Like, yo, if this don't show you that white people need to sit their ass down somewhere, Kratos is the shining example of needing to sit your ass down and stop breaking shit. To Sage D's point as well, the Japanese mythical gods as well. But I think, like you said first, though, Egyptian gods seems like the biggest one that would be the next step, just because a lot of people aren't doing them. Assassin's Creed did very well, giving us like the open world map like they did of Egypt. So I think that's cool. He's not over Twitch saying if they use Chinese characters, they have to apologize. Not wrong. You're not wrong on that. So we shall see exactly what it is that will come of this game, what the continuation is going to be. I look forward to seeing it. I love the God of War games, so it's not like it's not something I don't want to see happen. But continuing within the state of gameplay, more games were announced, as well as a new Dynasty Warriors Origins, So if you are a fan of the Dynasty Warrior franchise, the Dynasty Warrior franchise is something completely that has been kind of off of the radar a little bit for a while. But for fans that enjoyed it on the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, me being one of them, I look forward to seeing this return back, especially for a PS5 version. Dynasty Warriors is really kind of like a open world, not an open world, but like a huge battle royale with you and your homies, as you can see, fighting so many soldiers coming through, bosses fighting through. It's just like literally you being put right in the middle of a battle and going ham. How many people can you beat up? How long can you last? Special powers with different characters and stuff. This was just such a fun game to play, and it was so much fun to play with your friends too. Back in the days where you were both in the same room with a controller. So I'm so glad that they have announced this and that they're bringing it back to PlayStation. Gonna be on PlayStation 5. I cannot wait to see the graphics and how they use and how just what they use, the special characters, the special abilities that they have. I am thoroughly excited for Dynasty Warrior Origins, and I hope that there'll be some online play where you and your friends can come together and be a fleet or be a clique, depending on what you call it. Why I call it a fleet. Hopefully they'll have it to where you can come together online and be able to play in some way, some sort of fashion. But I'm sure that they're working that out in somehow. So I'm not concerned about it at all. Another one that is coming from the deep within the catalogs of PlayStation that everybody has been waiting for is Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 has officially been announced, and they are remaking this classic game title. Now, we saw the success of, revitalizing and remaking video games. Some we've seen not do so well, kind of like the Grand Theft Auto trilogies that, they said they upgraded but didn't really upgrade, But we've seen them in a more success with Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. Those franchises have done very well with being able to focus on a remake and people really being attached to the game. So I don't imagine that Silent Hill wouldn't be any better. And as you can see from the trailer, It looks like it still is carrying that insane, that creepy, everything that you love about Silent Hill, or like myself, everything that you hate about Silent Hill. Because this game's scary as shit. I'm just going to throw that out there. This game's scary as fuck. This is one of them games I don't play at night. I damn near don't play in the daytime. That's just how good this game is. This game will creep you out. I played this game one time when it was on PlayStation. And look, listen, for all of you Gen Z people that may watch this and don't know about it, but for us millennials, these graphics were not that great as we see here. Like, graphics have very much improved from when we were coming up with our consoles. That game was scary then. I can't even really imagine what it's gonna look like with high-end graphics like you seeing right here. Like, this look creepy as shit. Just imagine what is gonna happen when you playing the full game, submerged at night with no sounds going. Just you in this game. I promise you people are going to be having some nightmares watching this, all right? I know I'm going to be one of them because I'm only going to be a watcher, all right? I'm not playing this game. I'm going to just be a watcher. I'm letting it be known now. Like, State of Play will not be commencing with Silent Hill in this household. Let you know that now. I like getting sleep. And this is not going to make me sleep well. And also too, as Stage D stated, we didn't have anything given to us, but there is going to be also a Crash Bandicoot game coming out as well. Not sure if it's a continuation or if it's a remake, but I believe it's a brand new Crash game that they are rolling out as far as the game goes. And just to agree with Big Back 70, yes, Metal Gear Solid did push the graphics back in the day. Yeah, man, Metal Gear Solid felt like some stuff you had never seen before. So just looking at it today, as well as like them old Tekken 2 games, like those things, like not diminishing how they looked back then, because they were at the top of their game during that time for us. And it was just like, yo, this stuff is so cool. But for me, out of the State of Play, the MVP of the State of Play was Astrobot. Now, if you have a PS5, then you are familiar with Astrobot. Astrobot was a mini game within PlayStation that was to help you pretty much get the PlayStation 5 ready, calibrating the controllers, showing you how to use it, showing how to utilize your PlayStation 5, and they conducted it well into a small little mini game. Even paying homage to a lot of the old school PlayStation consoles, accessories, video games, the whole nine. And just like how everybody would say, it was like, yo, they need to make this a full game. Well, PlayStation heard us. They heard all of our cries. Well, I wouldn't even say really cries, but they heard all of our suggestions, and they have decided to give the people what they want. Astrobot is getting a full version game. And when I tell you, the way this trailer showed us what this game is about, I'm like Fry from Futurama. Shut the fuck up and take my money. Take my money now. I would even pre-order this game. I'm not even gonna lie. This game looks amazing. They already said that there are going to be over 100 references when it comes to the PlayStation history. Again, far as consoles, accessories, video games. We've also learned that you will be able to decorate Astrobot kind of in the similarities of like they did Little Big Planet, where you can put little accessories over from Uncharted, as you can see right there with the little wig pieces, even to Thor Ragnarok, and even having custom items that are pulled from video games. Like, for instance, you'll get Kratos' axe, but you know, in the form of Astro Boy. Like, the dude got a PS5 spaceship. This is simply, in one word, fucking adorable. And I know I said one word, but I had to throw the fucking in there just because that's how this looks. Man, I cannot wait to play this game. And then also, too, this is one of those type of characters where you could franchise this out. Now, seeing that it is a full game, I can also see them doing a dope TV series that could go on Netflix, maybe even Amazon Prime or something like that, or exclusively on the PlayStation Network for you to see. Having somebody famous voice the characters along with some other characters in there, it just looks like a super fun game, and I cannot wait for us to be able to play it. Hopefully they give us a demo, but even so, there hasn't been a release date exactly on when it's going to drop. It has just been announced. So shout out to PlayStation, other games that were announced, but these were kind of the highlights that I took. Oh, and as they say, it's coming September 6th, actually. So it's not that far along. Yes, Sage D, I agree. A Astrobot comic book series would be incredible to have. Shout out to Easy Knot as well. Mentioning when we were talking about different type of graphics, we were actually talking about this a couple of days ago as we were saying of an underrated game, which is the Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay. Those graphics, if you didn't play that game, that was an underrated game. Those graphics were so fire because it allowed you to be in third person view and also in first person view. And even when you were in first person view, you could see Riddick's shadow when you're walking. So like there was a one particular part in the game where you have to go through like a crawl shaft. You can see his shadow as you're walking, even with the weapon of choice that you've put in your hand, you can see it as you're walking. I thought, like, especially back when this dropped, I thought that was so cool with the attention to detail that they gave, that it is just that was one of the most underrated games. If you haven't got a chance to check out the Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay, check it out. At least the gameplay or the trailer. I don't know if you'll fully invest in the game, which you know everything that's out, but it is an incredible game. Shout out to Granddaddy Perk for joining over on Twitch. Like we said, as well as Sage D, Big Back 70, Easy Knot as always up in here. I appreciate y'all joining me. So that's also going to wrap up video game news. And so now I want to move into a little TV news. Still kind of even sticking around PlayStation. Now we know the success of The Last of Us on HBO Max or Max, depending on how what they're calling themselves. It's always jumping. But we know that the show is getting a season 2. And so we also got confirmation that Jeffrey Wright will be reprising his role in The Last of Us for season 2. Now he played he voiced I forget the guy's name all the time, but he voiced this character in The Last of Us. So him actually coming into this role just makes perfect sense. And then too, dang near already look like him. So I already feel like it's just a great addition to this cast already. We know Pedro Pascal is returning as well in The Last of Us. And I can't wait to see like the dynamic between them two. Like I think both of them are incredible actors. So to see Pedro and Jeffrey Wright on the same screen, especially on such a high level television show, and him also returning to Max, especially after the cancellation of Westworld, I think it's great to see him back on one of their shows. Still pissed the fuck off that we did not get us a Westworld finale. I'm so mad that they canceled that show. So upset that they canceled that show and didn't allow it to finish. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm like, yo, if a show has ran its time, a show has ran its time. But I just don't believe that this was one of those shows that shouldn't have gotten an ending. Like, it ended very abruptly. I thought the last season was dope, how they pivoted to everything. And I just really wanted to get an end to that story. Even if we only got one more season with maybe 3 or 4 episodes, I would have loved to have seen an ending to Westworld, especially the way that it was set up in the final season that they aired. So it's just like, okay, I guess so. Sage D saying I felt the same way about Lovecraft Country. I did want Lovecraft Country to continue, and you can hear the sirens in the back because they know this was a crime to cancel these 2 episodes. I mean, these 2 series. I agree with you, Sage D. But for at least that one, it gave an ending to be a dope limited series. Like the way it was ended off, it's just like, oh, okay, since it's a limited series, if it was a limited series, they at least got a slight ending, if that makes sense. Especially like with some of the limited series that we've seen, like Baby Reindeer, for example, that's one of the newest ones. It at least gave us a slight ending, but left it open-ended for season 2. Westworld, however, had been in for 5 seasons. There were so many storylines that we needed to see end, and you didn't allow to end. And I just think that that was so wrong of them to do because of the simple fact, y'all, you had so many fans that wanted to see that. And shout out to Yerba Mate. I'm not a big fan of the Rockstar Red Bull drinks and everything like that. But if you want you a more organic drink that'll wake you up, get you a Yerba Mate. I love me the berry one and the lemon one. I actually like all of them except maybe the mint one. I'm not a big mint drinking fan. You know what I'm saying? I don't mess with the mints and whatnot. But yeah, so I look forward to see season 2 of The Last of Us. It should be coming out, I believe, next year is what it's slated for. So I look forward to seeing what they're going to bring to the table with the second season, because that second game is a lot of work. But moving forward, we're jumping over to Disney and Star Wars. The Wires. We out here with The Wires. And one of the newest additions to Star Wars is The Acolytes. The Acolytes is the newest addition to the Star Wars TV franchise that is slated to come out, I believe, this week. With 2 episodes. First, starting it off, the Acolytes are more centered around the Siths and bounty hunters towards the Jedi. So it even starts off with a Jedi has been murdered. We have Trinity from the Matrix that's in here. We have, I know it's not him, but it looked like the guy from Squid Games. Although I know that ain't him, but it is a dude that look like he from Squid Game is in this. But what they have let us know about the Acolytes that is going to be different is that it will not feature anyone from Star Wars. So we will see no cameos from any of the Star Wars franchise. So it also will not tie into the current Star Wars timeline, as this show is actually set 100 years before Star Wars Episode 1. So before this is 100 years before the Phantom Menace. So this is before we see Yoda. This is before we see the Emperor, anything. We are 100 years behind this. So they're kind of taking the whole House of the Dragon route that we see with this. And so I actually like that, because I feel like, as I think we've discussed this on Straight Out of a Comic Book, I want to see them start to develop characters that don't tie into the ones that we necessarily know and everything. So I'm glad to really see that, because don't get me wrong, I love the Skywalker stuff. I love the Darth Vader things, but because of the potential that is within this universe for Star Wars, I'm like, there has to be more that could be seen from these. And I believe straying away from them, getting away from the current timeline we know, and giving us these other perceptions of what's going on in this universe is a great look for them to be doing. And I think this, especially what I've seen from the Acolytes trailer, I think this is a great step in that direction. And hopefully they will continue that and not have to rely on trying to fit these shows within the timeline of when the Phantom Menace started to the, the last ones that they had when, Princess Leia apparently can breathe in space and whatnot, how the fuck that happened. But either way, I don't think we're going to see any of that silliness in this. So I'm looking forward to watching the Star Wars Acolytes. It is dropping this week. As we said, they're going to give you 2 episodes on the first release, and then it's going to come out weekly, I believe, on Wednesdays. So shout out to the Acolytes. We can jump in the chat. Shout out to Drew G. Yes, we blessed and highly trail out here. We still blessed and highly trail. Shout out to Doughboy and Morning Cup of Dough. Sage D, Star Wars would be great if it brought the storylines from the Legends series. Yes, I agree. I think that would be too. It just needs to be worked right. It just needs to be worked properly and how they need to be displayed, whether it's movies or whether it be in television. So those still have to be played correctly. Granddaddy Perp, oh, this is a standalone show. Yes. Yeah, it does give you, but I think that gives it the better potential that we don't have to worry about, okay, how does this tie in when this happened? And to be, as Sage D says, to be in the galaxy, the Star Wars universe was really small. This show could could finally expand it. And then shout out to old girl who plays Trinity being in the show. Can't wait to see her as a Jedi. Likewise, I was very excited to see her in there. And you're right to say that this is a galaxy, and I think we've only really been exposed to maybe 5 or 6 planets within this galaxy. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, I know there's so much more that we can see when it comes to this show. And I even believe that they mentioned Earth in one of these series. I think if memory serves me correct, I could be wrong, but I believe in Ahsoka, someone mentioned Earth. So the fact that Earth is mentioned within this thing lets us know just how big this universe is. So it's like, yo, let's see it, but not just from their side. Like, I love that the Jedi is, you know, like, it does stretch as kind of a religion from the back and forth side, but that can expand outside of just the story of the Empire. Like, I would like to see that the Empire is one of many factions that have been around, that have did things, and maybe the Empire doesn't run the full galaxy or stretches out its limit beyond what's there. And we saw that kind of with Ahsoka going into a different kind of like a different dimension if they want to, or a different plane and everything. So I just want to see more of the Star Wars universe, and I think, as we said, the Acolytes is a great first step. Would you have pointed out that Palpatine was evil? Asked by Sage D. Here's my thing. I think the Emperor is kind of useless in Star Wars. I think the Emperor was a little bit of overkill. I think Palpatine is really overkill in Star Wars. Like, I would have much wanted him to just kind of remain like the guy in the chair that we don't see. Like, I remember Inspector Gadget when it was just a hand, when it was just, I'm gonna get you, Inspector Gadget. You will not defeat the Claw. And it was just him. It was just him. That's what Senator Palpatine should have been. It should have been that when he got all evil, disgusting, and had to put the hoodie on and then look like one of them perverts in the park. That's what it should have been. He should have just been the Claw. Just no hand, no face. Well, hand, of course, but no face, nothing. But that's just my opinion. I just think them worried about him so much like that was overkill. Like, we could have really been like, we never see him. And then, you know, like when they go to defeat it and stuff like that, like, you know, he dies or something and everything. Like, we didn't need to have him to be like such a pivotal character and see when he becomes the Emperor. And it was like, oh, I've been in there. I'm just like, I felt like that was overkill in my opinion. But we're going to move on from Star Wars news and we're going to go to a little Netflix news. And this is one that's just got me very excited. So, it was just released that the Umbrella Academy Season 4 trailer dropped this week. And if you are a fan of it, then you are probably just excited as I am. So the Umbrella Academy is entering Season 4, and it is going to be their final season. And the log line for this season is the final timeline. If you remember the last season, it was some crazy ride. I'm going to tell you, like, I think Season 3 is probably their best season. They dropped into the 1960s, showed how they were tied in with that, with JFK's assassination. We got to see number five's like origin of like where he went, what he was doing. It was just such a great season. And so if you do realize, if not, it is spoilers, but I figure all of y'all have seen it. They end up going back into this new alternate universe where they don't have powers. And Hargraves has taken over. He, basically is running everything within the world from what it saw in the last thing with all of these companies from the skylight that they have. And so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with this timeline. And the trailer just looks insane. So it looks like it is still keeping up with that great superhero, dysfunctional family, explosions, actions, weird love still going on within this final season. And if I'm being honest too, Netflix, I think, did a great job ending this here. At first, again, I get a little disappointed when we see final season and it's just like, no, but I think this one works well to end it here. I think they made a great decision ending the Umbrella Academy at a peak rather than it dropping down and it starts to get like, that season was a little light. I don't know. It may be time to end it. No, this is perfect because we only need one series. We only need one more season for them to close everything out. And I think them being able to jump the timelines that they've jumped so far, we don't need to keep seeing that and them trying to catch up and fix these things. So I think them having one last season to where it's like, okay, how does this end is perfect. And this will cap off a great superhero show and finally give Netflix something that ends properly. You know what I'm saying? Not just kind of like, we're just going to end it, or, well, after 23 seasons, I guess we can go ahead and say goodbye. It's like, no, you're leaving me at my prime, at my peak, and this will make this great rewatchable material for me. So I can't wait to see it. And yes, HD, if you're watching the trailer, Ben did yeet somebody with them tentacles. And like I said, I can't wait to see the action that comes in here and what this story is about when it comes to the Hargrave kids. And again, trying to stop the timeline from being destroyed. So shout out to Netflix again. Cannot wait to see them and what's going to happen. I believe the Umbrella Academy final season will premiere in August. And, unlike Disney Plus, unlike some of these other streaming platforms, all episodes will be available as it should be. As it should be. Dang it. Tired of waiting every week for a new episode to drop. Man, just give it all to me, man. Put the whole plate right here. Shoot. Sick of it. Sick of waiting a whole nother week. X-Men had me pissed the hell off doing that stuff. How you gonna kill Gambit and she gonna go, I can't feel you, sugar. I can't feel you. And that bitch went black. And I had to wait 6 days for a whole new episode. What kind of blue ball shit is that? Y'all gonna, man, look, y'all need, streaming services, y'all need to stop that, all right? I left television for a reason, all right? There's a reason I don't mess with Comcast, Spectrum, on any of these 800 channels that they got. Why? Because I want my food on one plate. I don't want you bringing this to me every week. Be like, here's your appetizer. Next week, we're going to bring you your salad. Next week, we're going to bring you your soup. Next week, we're going to bring you your steak. And then next week, we're going to bring you your vegetables. And then next week, we'll bring you your dessert. No. That's why you hear them alarms ringing outside. People sick of this shit. They passing out from only getting one episode. That's probably from somebody just realizing Gambit died. Sick of it. Tired of it. And then Disney Plus got the balls to be like, not only are we going to release it every week, but we going to release it at a certain time. Like, this is cable. What show was it that they did? Loki. They were like, yo, Loki's going to come out on Wednesdays, but not only is it going to come out on Wednesdays, it's going to come out at Wednesdays at 6 o'clock. So you mean to tell me we not even doing it when 12:01 hits and I can watch it when it's officially Wednesday? You going to premiere it on a streaming service at a certain time? You can kiss the left side of my damn testicle, all right? No matter of fact, I said that wrong. You can kiss the lower end of my left testicle, Disney Plus. I'm sick of this shit. Give me my whole plate of food when you drop this, like Netflix is going to do with the Umbrella Academy, all right? So, anyway, moving on. Apologies. That was my rant and the clip for the week. Moving on to still a little more scary news. It looks like it is back. It looks like that boy Pennywise is not done with us in any type of fashion, and neither is Bill Skarsgård. It was reported that there's going to be a prequel series that's going to be coming out, and Bill Skarsgård is set to return to play Pennywise in this prequel series. Now, here's my question. Ain't it already a prequel? Like, wasn't it like it when they was kids, then It 2 happened and they were adults. So don't that make it already a prequel? And I'm a little more curious as to that, like, what is this prequel gonna consist of? Like, does this consist of us finding out, like, how Pennywise became Pennywise? Like, ain't Pennywise a demon? Like, I'm kind of confused at what this show was going to be about. Because the last time it was supposed to be a killer that is killing kids and sucking them up into a sewer using red balloons or some kind of shit. And so from what I am hearing from Big Beck 70, saying it does have a short prior history before the movie. Here's my thing. Stop trying to normalize villains. Stop trying to get us to want to understand the villains of these stories. I don't give a shit how Pennywise became Pennywise at all. That's like you trying to tell me we're going to make a prequel to Jason. And we're going to show you all how it led up to Jason's big-headed ass getting drowned in a pool. I don't care. Oh, my God. Shanae89 said it best. Let villains be villains. I do not need to know as to, oh, man, so that's why that happened. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoy seeing the Joker's setup. That's understandable. This is not the thing that I'm talking about. There are just certain villains I don't need to see. That's like you making a prequel to Nightmare on Elm Street. What do you really want to see? An hour and 30 of Freddy Krueger touching kids? Then getting burned alive, and it's like, oh, well, it was because he was also, messed up as a boy. I don't care. Leave my villains as the villains. I don't need to sympathize with my villains. I don't need to have an understanding of my villains. Let my villains be maniacal, evil, fucked up, the whole 9 yards. Man, the whole 10 yards. Shout out to Bruce Willis. Please, stop giving villains origin stories. I don't want to connect with them. I don't want to understand their thought process as to why they did this. That is the whole thing that makes a villain dope. That's what made the Joker dope. Even when he said it in The Dark Knight, I'm like a dog chasing its tail. I wouldn't know what to do if I caught it. I love being able to not know why these people are being maniacal. They're just being maniacal. They're just one of the big pieces to the story. Don't need to understand them as to why they're doing it. I don't care. Just blow stuff up. Kill these people or whatever it is the villain is doing. But stop trying to make me feel and understand this motherfucker. Oh, Jesus. Just like Sage D say, hey, you can touch on their origin in the movie. It's like, oh, okay, I see that. But to expand it to a series, to expand it to a standalone movie, that's how I feel about it. That's just simply in a nutshell how I feel about it. Call me childish if you want, but that's the way I see it. Okay. Now, one thing that we also gonna keep moving on to this, as far as continuing franchises and expanding them out, it has been announced that 300 is getting a TV series. 300 is getting a TV series with supposedly Zack Snyder returning to direct the series. And it has been announced that it is in early development to become a series. Now, this is a prime example of a prequel that works. So that's one thing that I enjoy about this, because this is something that does make sense to be a prequel. We didn't see what the 300 Spartans did before losing to the Persians in the film. We've seen it in the second 300. I'm not sure if even like the second 300 film was. I think it was after Leonidas. Yes, it was after Leonidas. But I would love to see them continue to take on different people within the series. This makes sense, even to the point of where it doesn't necessarily have to be Gerard Butler's character. It can be somebody else. We saw that in the second 300. That works, and I enjoyed that film. So this is a film that makes sense to turn into a series, to even make it, whether it's going to be a prequel, whether it's going to be after. Fucking Pennywise being a damn prequel series, just stupid. Just fucking stupid, okay? You know what? I'm going to stop. I'm going to leave him alone for Pennywise be standing across the street with a balloon while I'm going to the store. And I don't need that type of energy. Matter of fact, no, fuck that. I'll sock Pennywise ass the fuck out. Fuck that. I ain't scared of no damn clown. I'm terrified of clowns, but I'll knock that clown out. I wish he would tell me, come on over here. First of all, I'm going to punch you for two reasons. One, you're dressed like a fucking idiot. And two, I'm offended that you think you're going to get my big ass in that sewer like that. Nigga, you know I'm not finna fit through here. So why would you even try to tempt me with your little treats and your little red balloon? Hey, what the fuck do I want a red balloon for? Even as a kid, what the hell do I want a red balloon for? I ain't never looked at no balloon that made me walk towards the balloon in my life. I've never been, I was like, I get when like niggas be in vans with candy. I'm like, all right, that might get you. But a fucking balloon? Stupid. So stupid. Oh. Now, Big Beck 70 had a good question. Is watching the villain descend into evil humanizing? Yes, that's what you're doing. You're making us relate to him. And again, prime example, Joker. We now got an understanding why Joker is the way he is and everything. And so, but again, too, that was showing us a series of circumstances that turned him into that, which didn't humanize him for us, but it made us understand why he is the way he is. We still think he fucked up, but again, it still did kind of like make you understand his logic a little bit better, which again, still in a sense does kind of humanize him, you know, to your point, Big Back 70. So yeah, which is again why it's like it's a double-edged sword when you do that with villains, because it's like now it's like, oh, you want me to understand? I'm like, no, I want him to either lose or win. I don't need that. I don't need that. Sage D even said, if I saw Pennywise, I'd roast his ass. Be like, man, if you don't shut your 24-pound turkey-headed ass up, you right. And Shawnee, I don't understand the thing of Pennywise. I think it was like a allure that he was a demon at some point and some stuff. It's stupid. It's stupid. That's all I know. It's stupid. And all I know is this. Most of these villains wouldn't go to the hood. You'll never see Pennywise in Inglewood, I tell you that. You'd have been seeing Pennywise up there be like, yo, man, what happened, man? They stole, look, I'm trying to drag you down here so I can eat you. Normally I use a balloon, but some cats around the corner stole my balloon and a couple other my things. Matter of fact, can I use your cell phone? For some reason, my big head telepathy ain't work. I need to call my homie to let me know where my other sewer access is. Cause these man, look, they done threw my whole shit off. I was trying to take a little boy down the street there on 60th Street, and then 6 dudes in blue bandanas came and kicked my ass. I ain't even see him coming. Pennywise ain't shit. I said it. But that's gonna wrap up television news. Don't judge me, man. That's it. Like prequels and stuff like that be having me hot. Yeah. Big Beck 70. The only one gangster enough to go to the hood was Leprechaun. That was it. Leprechaun was the only one gangster enough to say, I'm going to the hood. And I don't care who is doing it. And I'm not sure why there is a riot going on outside. Like I stay in Gotham or anything like that. For some reason, every time I decide I want to go live, somebody got to get an ambulance. And now we got somebody on a bullhorn and stuff. I'm just like, don't know what's going on out there. So if y'all can hear that, my apologies. But we're going to move on now to movie news and everything. And we've discussed this before. We discussed this in the last episode that Knives Out is getting a 3rd installment called Wake Up Dead Man. Wake Up Dead Man. That bring me a little PTSD. I ain't gonna front. I kind of did that with my uncle when he passed away. You know, when they go let you view the body and stuff like that. I had tapped on him to see if he might wake up. And apparently you're not allowed to do that at a funeral. Supposedly it's very rude. I didn't think it was rude at the time. I just believed that, you know, hey, what if he sleep? What if he sleep? And also too, to that point, I don't think the generation of my parents are like, I don't know what the generation is called, like 2 generations before millennials. I don't know if they boomers or whatever. I can't remember what the name of it is. But I don't like how my mom handled that. I don't like how she handled that. Because this was a prime opportunity to not catch an attitude with me. Because she caught an attitude with me. And I got banned from family funerals. Like my mama made me sit out in the car during the whole funeral. And before y'all say nothing, the window was down. It was hot. The window was down though. I wasn't just sitting in the car with the windows up and stuff like that. But she made me sit in the car during that whole funeral. And I was not allowed to go back to family funerals for some reason because I'm a kid. I was like 9 when this happened. I don't necessarily know how death works. They was just like, yo, he passed. I was like, you say he passed, maybe he passed out. I wasn't thinking of like the T part in that. Just, I thought, you know, maybe he passed out and he gonna wake up. So I was just testing to see it. I was like, we don't know. I saw movies where it was like, oh, this dude was dead and he came back. And I was like, okay, well, what if he come back? So, you know, ain't nothing happened. You know, he remained unalive like he was supposed to. But I felt like as a kid, that should have been explained to me rather than everybody just kind of getting offended and me getting an official ban on family funerals. Now, I'm not upset that I can't attend the funeral. I'm just upset that I don't get a chance to experience the funeral food. Cause man, don't nothing be busting like funeral food. Funeral food be fire. Don't nothing bring out the taste of food like death. You appreciate that shit way more. Boy, them chicken wings be on point. Nigga, them collard greens, boy, them death collard greens. Whoo! Them hoes be busting. I know you ain't supposed to enjoy that. I was like, well, shit, he can't enjoy it no more. We might as well enjoy it. I missed out on that for like fucking 15 years, man. All because I was trying to check to see if this man might pop up, man. My dang auntie sad, crying and stuff like that. People blowing their nose. Mother aunties passing out because he done passed away. Like they catching the Holy Ghost. Other people upset because he owed them money and shit like that, and he ain't here to bring it back and everything. I'm like, man, y'all should have handled that better. All right. I'm just saying, man. I don't think I should have been so harshly judged at such a young age, man. And shout out to Shanae, 8969. Yep. The funeral food, baby shower food. Best fucking food you're going to have on the planet in them type of situations. Because them shower meatballs. Now, look, and where I'm from, we didn't have the full shower, the baby shower meatballs. My mom had these little, it was like, y'all know them little mini sausages from I think it's called Huntington Farms. It's like it's sausage, but it's like this small. It's like this small. My mom used to make those in a crock pot with like barbecue sauce and just let them things cook, and you just took like a toothpick and put it out. That was our version of the meatballs, Shanae. Let me tell you something. I don't even know if they still make these little mini sausages. I don't even know if these exist, but through 95 to by 004, them little mini sausages was busting. I couldn't wait. I even had to tell my mom sometime, I don't think these gonna make it to this baby shower. She like, boy, you better not go in that little crack. You better not go in that crock pot. But get your hand out of there. You can tell me that I'm not. I'm still going there. I'm gonna get you. And we got toothpicks in the house. Oh, if you don't think 4 of these finna go missing, it's gonna happen. I'd pass by that kitchen, grab one, go to the bathroom, come back, go into the living room, grab another one before we getting ready to go. But man, top me off with one more. Top me off with one more sauce before we go. Like, boy, if you don't get your ass out that crack pot, I'm testing your stuff, okay? Because the last thing you want, mother, is to lead a baby shower and they be just like, you try them sausages? Who? The last thing you ever want to hear, believe me, the last thing you ever want to hear when you bring food to an event is this type of tone when they go, who made them sausages? Or who made the potato salad? Was that Pam? Was that Pam that made them? When your auntie do this, You don't never want that. You don't never want that. I'm helping my mama out. I'm doing a service to my mama and her reputation, and she get mad at me because I'm digging in the crock pot. You see, I was ahead of my time before anything, trying to help her out, and that's how she looked at it. But anyway, we getting off track. We done went on to a whole side mission. Let's get back to it. As I said, the new Knives Out third installation is coming. And let me tell you something. This cast, we ain't even finished with the cast yet. And this cast is casting. Okay? I know that may not be the right phrase or tone to say, but this cast is casting. Let's first off, Daniel Craig, James Bond is back playing Detective Blanc. Not only that, Hawkeye is in the movie. All right? Jeremy Renner has been added to the cast. Along with Meg from Family Guy, Mila Kunis, that 70s show, the girl that don't take showers every day. She up in here. I hope she take a shower frequently when she on set. Like, I understand, like, you don't believe in it to where you want to do it. That's cool. Do what you want in your household. But when you on set, you better come zest clean. That's all I know. You better be Irish Spring fresh when I do a scene with you. That's all I know. Don't be coming up here smelling like yesterday or like outside. But she's in it. Glenn Close, aka Cruella DeVille, is up in this. Scandal's very own Kerry Washington is up in this piece. That boy Josh O'Connor, who was just up in Challengers, Andrew Scott, Kaylee Spat, you know I be fucking up names. That little white girl below Daniel Craig, if you can see the image, and Daryl McCormick. Notice how I went real fast with them because I have no idea what the fuck they were in. But apparently, it's a big deal that they're also in this too. I've seen Andrew Scott in a few things. I just can't place the movie particularly what he wants. I'm gonna do more research when I come up with these things. But I just figure y'all don't give a shit what they played in, and you probably know already anyway, more than I do. But I will do a better job at being able to reference some of the ones you may not know, like I did with Josh O'Connor. But this cast is stacked to the masses. And again, I'm sure they haven't even finished casting everybody. And I'm very curious to see what the setup is going to be for Wake Up Dead Man. You know, we saw it from a family setting. We saw it from a friends group. So now I'm just trying to see exactly what this is going to look like. Is this going to be like a business setting now? Like, is this kind of like, you know, like, what it is, Detective Blunt walking in kind of like a Successions type of like business feel, and he has to figure that out. So I'm very curious as to what the setting is and what the group tone is going to be now that they have so many of this phenomenal actors and actresses added to the cast. So you know, as more of the story develops, I'm going to continue to get it out. Sage D, of course, saying Eyes Wide Shut setting. I would love to see it like that. Eyes Wide Shut setting. That would be a dope new way. Not new way, but that'd be a dope addition to Knives Out. I think that would be so cool for them to be able to do. So can't wait to see more. Can't wait to see when the trailer drops. But when it do, you already know. We ain't going to be talking about it here on Stride of a Comic Book. More news from the Deadpool side. As we know, movie theaters have been, you know, trying to up their game a little bit more with making movies a little bit more commemorative and you know, to be able to take something away from the movie theaters. And one of those things being these commemorative popcorn buckets. Now, most of the time it works. And recently we saw when it doesn't work. If you're familiar with Dune 2 coming out, there was a particular popcorn bucket that came out. If you know, you know, and you know what the reference looked like when you saw it. And so, of course, with Deadpool and the way that he acts and the way that his humor is set, why would this man not give us a commemorative popcorn bucket that is going to make us just as uncomfortable as that Dune 2 bucket did? So it was recently announced that the Wolverine bucket was officially revealed. And of course, if you've seen the video as we're displaying here, I love the fact of Deadpool stroking the bucket and feeling on the bucket and stuff, as you can see here in the video. Shout out to Cream Corn Taz. What's up to you, and thank you for shouting out the Legion as well. Granddaddy Perp, it ain't sus. It's full. It's full. You know exactly what he's doing. Even Hugh Jackman had tweeted out, "Don't butter my mouth." Don't butter my mouth up. I'm like, okay. And then apparently too, there's a Deadpool bucket that's going to also come out. So for those that don't know, when it comes to releasing films and for promotions such as these, like the buckets, normally movie theaters will get different versions of them. So I believe the Wolverine version will be exclusively at AMC theaters, and the Deadpool bucket is going to be exclusively at Regal theaters. And then for some of y'all, like if you just look up your movie theater in your area, if it doesn't say AMC or Regal, it'll let you know who pretty much runs that. Like for instance, back home, we have a thing called Tinseltown movie theater, but Tinseltown movie theater is owned by Regal Theaters. So check your local listings to see exactly which bucket you'll be getting, or which movie theaters close to you, whether it be AMC or Regal, so you know which bucket that you'll be able to get. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of like folks in the chat, man. Like I'm with Granddaddy Perp. Nah, someone gonna use this for another purpose. Yes, that's what the Dune trailer sparked, which is why this type of bucket came out, because that's how everyone felt when we saw the Dunes 2 bucket, because y'all know what it kind of started kind of looking like. Not saying that's what the thing looked like. We all know it don't, but we already know. Somebody fucked that bucket. Somebody stuck their dick in that bucket just to see what it was like. And probably didn't have no popcorn in there, just some warm liquid. So if that's happening, I can only imagine what might happen with this Wolverine bucket and this Deadpool bucket. But I think, again, it's some good promotion for the movie. The movie is scheduled again to come out at the end of July this year. It just adds to the humor that is Deadpool and Wolverine and the awesomeness as well of the movie, not this bucket. I don't want y'all walking around thinking that I said that this bucket was awesome, because it ain't. That's, again, very weird for me, but not weird for the movie itself. So, shout out to them for just keeping the hilarity going, keeping the promo going. I think it's dope, and I cannot wait to see this movie. So, but moving on to more movie news, we have found out that Mahershala Ali is in talks with starring in the new Jurassic World film alongside Scarlett Johansson. No too much detail has been given, but we do know that Mahershala Ali is in talks to star in the movie. Not sure if it's going to be a continuation of the Jurassic World where we saw, Chris, where we saw Brian, the Dallas Howard lady and stuff like that. I'm gonna stop acting like I know names, and I'm gonna just start naming it off like the way I want to name it off. The two people from Jurassic World. I don't know if it's continuing with that one or if it's starting over, but we know Scarlett Johansson has been tied to the film, and now we have found out that Mahershala Ali is going to be tied into the film. The one thing we don't know that he's being tied into is if the nigga is still Blade or not. Is he still in talks to be Blade? Because every time I find out about Blade, it's like Blade ain't happening. And Jurassic World is a huge franchise type of movie, so he gonna be busy if he's starring in this one. So I'm just trying to find out if he's still playing Blade. But I am in agreement with Cream Corn Taz over on Twitch when they said that shut up and take my money. Yeah, I'm like Fry from Futurama again. Shut up, take my money, take my shit now. I will go see that. I would definitely go see that. I cannot wait to see that. Hopefully he does not play a younger Samuel L. Jackson and get eaten by a velociraptor. I hope not. But always curious. Always curious to see exactly what will come of Jurassic World, because they've done a pretty decent job with giving us like new dinosaurs, new threats and stuff. So I'm curious to see how this would work, especially if they are going to stick to the world aspect of it. If this is like a continuation, just new perspective from new characters, because I like how it ended off that, like now dinosaurs are a part of the new world and everything. So I like that concept that dinosaurs are just out there, and I would love a different perspective on how people are coinciding with that, and how are people existing with these dinosaurs now roaming around free. So I look forward to seeing it. Yeah, man, this got all the VH kids excited. I like how you put that, Granddaddy Perp. Even Cream Corn Taz, it's a win for VHSs. If I was to show my daughter what a VH tape was, she would not know what to do with it at all. No, most don't. And if you do still have your VHSs, hold on to them, because they will be worth a lot, because VHSs will go very retro, and so people will want to collect those. So if you got them, hold on to them. I still got a whole bunch of my VHSs in the original packaging, especially those Disney ones. Hold on to your VHSs because eventually they're not. Again, we've seen that a lot of physical products when it comes to movie and television is now being pulled. We saw Best Buy no longer carries physical products of movies and television. Even to this point now, I think you have to order Blu-rays and they be shipped to you if you still want it on Blu-ray. I still have all my DVDs. I have the PlayStation 5 that takes in DVDs. I didn't want to get just a digital one because, again, y'all never know what's going to happen. Like, that's one thing I'll say. Stay invested in having some kind of physical product when it comes to film and television, because you never know when let me not say the power go out, but you'll never know when like the internet is out. Like what happens when the internet is out and the internet is out for a week? You know what I'm saying? And they're like, yo, we can't get on. We're not going to be able to fix this for a week. You have nothing to watch. You have absolutely nothing to watch. Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, Prime, Peacock, everything down. But guess what? Oh, Will right here got the blockbusters. That boy got the blockbusters up in his closet. You damn right. I'm going to be sitting purty. With I got over, I think, 300 DVDs in the case. You remember the case where you used to keep your music CDs in that just flipped like that. I got 2 booklets full of those. So whenever it's time, I can pop that into my PlayStation 5. I'm good. I got entertainment. While y'all sitting here watching the PBS channel and Tab is smiling, wishing you could watch Jurassic Park. But you some of y'all can come over to my house and have a movie night when it drops. Yes, and Granddaddy Perp, I also still had a Rugrats movie on VHS. I still got the orange tape. You damn right. I kept that too. But we're going to keep moving, pushing on and stuff like that. We also got some news from Pixar. Now, ever since Pixar has had its mergence with Disney, it's been rough. I'm gonna be honest. It's been real rough for Pixar these last couple of years, man. A lot of their stuff have not hit the success as it has done with some of their other titles and workings and stuff. Like Turning Red was not a big, huge box office success. I think probably one of their really only successful ones they've had for a while is Inside Out. But now with them stepping back outside of their Disney contract and kind of going back on their own and putting these out solely, they are doubling down on some of their bigger works. So they are doubling down on potentially rebooting The Incredibles, Finding Nemo, I believe, as well, and a couple of other titles that were successful in their whole Pixar catalog. I'm not sure as far as what it means by reboot, or if it hopefully like maybe continuation, I would hope. But I think it's a good look for them because there are a few of these that it's like, hey, you should do that. It does make sense. Like I would not mind an Incredibles 3. Would not mind seeing an Incredibles 3. Would not mind even a Finding Nemo 2. I know we talked about the theory and everything like that, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. I think there are a bunch of Pixar films that could be shown, that could come out and have reboots, have sequels to them. Again, we know that Toy Story will also come out. You know what, too? I wouldn't actually mind seeing another Bugs Life movie. I wouldn't mind seeing a Bugs Life 2. I wouldn't mind seeing a real Monsters, Inc. sequel. Not a prequel, not all that other stuff. Like, I want a real Monsters 2 sequel. Don't bring Up back. I will say that. Don't bring Up back. Don't do that. Don't do that. Up don't need to be there. Up does not. We know what the fuck what happened to Up. And you bitches better not make a prequel. You better not make, I promise you, Pixar, if you fuck this up for me and you make a dumbass prequel to Up, I'ma piss on your cat. 2 times. Kind of hard to pivot after saying that. But I ain't pivoting. I said what the fuck I said, all right? But they have a whole bunch of titles, though, that they could move into that could potentially be great. I think my number one for me is Wall-E, though. I would love to see another version of Wall-E. Something like a continuation of maybe Earth getting back to where it is and where it needs to be, or like Wall-E going to like a new planet or something like that. Like I would love another Wall-E, a Wall-E sequel. I would love to see something like that. So good thing to Pixar though, kind of like being able to stray away a little bit from under the Disney shadow and control, and being able to really get back, and them letting them know like we want to get back to our titles that we know worked. So I look forward to seeing the restructuring of Pixar and hopefully an epic return, maybe even starting off again with like another dope Toy Story. As they've been saying, I think we are getting a Toy Story 5. I think that's what we're on now, Toy Story 5. And I don't care what anybody says. Woody needs to talk to Andy. Andy needs to know that these toys be alive. I'm just saying, we need to know that. That needs to happen. Like some interaction with humans needs to happen, and I think the best one is Andy talking to Woody and Buzz. I don't even think it should be just Woody. I think he should talk to Buzz too. I think both of them should be able to talk to Andy so he has two perspectives. So I just think that would be dope. So I think that would be good to see. Yeah, you're right. There's no way, especially with Andy being grown, it sets up just right. Just Cheek on YouTube, not gonna happen. Just letting you know, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. That's never gonna happen. But Cream Corn Taz, not gonna lie, and I think it'd be dope to have Andy have a kid, and those toys come back somehow, like again from a toy drive or something else. And it's just, and then getting to like, it can even be to the point where the little girl that has them now is like a teenager, is selling them, and it's just like, hey, my son, like some way it connects to them to where it's like she gives the toys back and it goes to Andy's kids. And then Andy walks up in one of the rooms and then sees that. But like his daughter, like I would say like even his daughter or his son knows and sees it, and it's like, yo, what? He's like, I'm telling you, these toys are alive. These toys are alive. And I don't know how, don't know why. But and then eventually Andy does see it, and then he believes his son that they are alive and that they can talk to him. And it has that conversation for him. And then that's what makes it feel like, okay, this is why they're still here. This is why it came back to me. Because what it did for me, it can do for my son. I knew that there were magic within these toys. And that's why it is the way I am now as an adult. And I love seeing that can be the same thing that happens for my kid. Or it could be for the fact that his kid don't like playing with toys. There's that concept too, especially like in today's world with all the electronics, iPads and all that stuff. That would also be a dope thing that his son don't like playing with toys. And he gets some toys. And it's just like, okay, I know this toy was by this bookshelf when I left yesterday. How is it over here now? That type of stuff. Yeah. So I think that would be dope. And again, too, just like to Granddaddy's Perp comment over on Twitch where he said, if I woke up in the middle of the night as a kid, I'd go pop a tape in. Yeah, you're right. And to your point, I'd take another Monsters Inc. as well. So I just think that'll be dope. I think that'll be cool to see. And I'm just glad that Pixar has, seen exactly, took a shot with Disney, seeing where they could go with it, but getting back to some of their old roots, and I'm here for it. So we're going to move into the second to last topic today, which is the fact that your boy Thor, for some reason the picture won't pull up, so apologies on that, but it's been said that Thor is slated to star in the new G.I. Joe / Transformers film that is coming out. Now, if you saw the last Transformers movie where they was in Brooklyn and I ain't trying to say it kind of was more like the hip hop version for the Transformers with this movie. But this one had a lot more swag to it than the last one. And this one also featured the Beast War bots and stuff like that in this last Transformers movie. And I ain't gonna lie, it was good. I enjoyed it. I don't know how everybody else felt about it particularly, but I enjoyed the last Transformers film. I felt like it was a success, but at the end too, they tied in and pretty much let us know that the Hasbro universe is expanding into a real thing, combining Transformers and the G.I. Joe Initiative program to Transformers. So it's only right that they're about to do a crossover film and to have Thor as the lead. I think it's cool. For one, Chris Hemsworth already looks like he should be in G.I. Joe. So I'm not sure what character he's slated to play, whether he will play a Joe or whether he will play a, I guess you would call it a civilian and stuff, kind of in the same light as Shia LaBeouf and the rest of the characters that have played it. So I'm not sure exactly how they're going to have him. If he's going to play like maybe Hawk or maybe even play like a Breaker or get recast to be Roadblock or Duke. I'm most likely probably Duke, if anything. He might probably play Duke as a G.I. Joe. But again, too, because it's the Transformer side, too, I could potentially see him as a civilian and whatnot, but we don't know for sure. But we do know they are slated to try to have him as a part of the project, especially with the success that he's had with his Extraction films on Netflix. And if you haven't seen those, they are really good. They are really good. It is the action that you want. And that's all I'm going to say to it like that. Like, if you're looking for a good action movie, Extraction will give you everything you want for an action movie. And it came out on the best place, which is Netflix. So if you haven't seen them, go watch them. You won't be disappointed. But I look forward to seeing Chris Hemsworth as a Joe. I hope he's a Joe. I hope he's not a civilian. I hope he is a G.I. Joe, preferably playing Duke. I feel like that if you don't cast him as Duke, you completely missed it. You completely missed it. Or you must have somebody completely way more at the top to play Duke. And it better not be Channing Tatum. Don't you bring back Channing Tatum for G.I. Joe. All right. Now, you can bring back The Rock as Roadblock. I don't mind that because I enjoyed the second G.I. Joe. I enjoyed G.I. Joe Retaliation. And I like Channing Tatum. Not as Duke. Not as Duke. I did not take Channing Tatum seriously as a G.I. Joe. I would have never put my life in his hands whatsoever. If you'd have told me, no, that's gonna be your leader, that ain't my leader. If that's my leader, I'm going to join Cobra. I'm gonna go mess with that. I'm gonna go mess with that Snake Eyes boy or something. Or I'm gonna go mess with the Cobra Commander. I'd rather hear his high voiced ass coming. We will take the G.I. Joes because I am the Cobra Commander. I will fall into his regime before I fall into Channing Tatum. I'm letting you know that now. Man, like, you ain't my leader. You tell Roadblock to tell me what we supposed to do. I have no confidence in you whatsoever. But I look forward to seeing more details develop about the Transformer G.I. Joe crossover movie, just to see what they're going to bring to the table. Still not really slated as to when it's going to drop, if it's going to be next year or if it's going to be moving into 2026. I doubt that it's going to be coming out this year, but hopefully we get a trailer or some kind of footage or anything this year just to keep us excited. So yeah, but now moving into our final story, we are jumping back into Giancarlo Esposito. And as y'all know, he has now joined the cast of the MCU. We talked about it. Didn't know what kind of role that he was going to be playing in the MCU. But we've gotten a little bit more detail on what Giancarlo Esposito is going to be doing. We now know that he is going to play a villain. So the whole hype of him being Professor X, out the window. You can throw that out the window, throw it in the trash, have the trash man come pick it up and take it to the dump, because it ain't happening. Giancarlo Esposito is not going to be in a yellow wheelchair with a bald head running around talking about, to me, my X-Men, because you already know how I feel. Fuck Charles. Can't stand Charles's ass. Toxic ass motherfucker. I digress, though. I digress. Y'all know how Professor X get me, man. That man is a menace. That man is a full-time menace. But as we said, it has been confirmed that he will play a villain. What up to King Mike Hall over there at Twitch? He has been cast as a villain. Not only that, this character is supposedly also going to receive a Disney Plus series. Not sure if it's going to be a limited series, if it'll have more, if it's seasonal, kind of like how Loki is, or if it's like more of a Marvel presentation type thing. No real detail like that has said, but it is saying that we will have some kind of series or feature on the Disney Plus stream as well as in the MCU. And we also learned that he will be one of the villains in the upcoming Captain America movie, A Brave New World, starring Anthony Mackie as now Captain America, along with Harrison Ford as General Ross, or excuse me, I believe President Ross in the Captain America Brave New World film, along with my boy, the architect, the revolutionary Seth Rollins is also going to be in this film. So it seems like the movie's getting stacked. Now, once again, not sure the villain that he is going to be playing. I'm hoping that it is not someone in a political standpoint, but what I'm hoping for is I really feel like he's going to play Mr. Sinister. I really, truly feel like he's going to play Mr. Sinister. And this even still works with having it in Captain America. I think if you were to do that as far as an MCU type of thing, that works to be able to try to start introducing different people. Because anybody else as far as character-wise for him, I just don't see it. And they've already kind of like displayed the majority of the people that's going to be in there. And I know that they said that there's rumors that he's supposed to be Magneto in this. But that still now goes to my point. If he is even said to be Magneto, it makes more sense for him to be Mr. Sinister if they're going to display him in Captain America, because it gives more of a setup. It also shows him like having a company structure. So he can be either working for the government and they're doing experiments on people with powers, or he can have his own company and that's something he's doing. But to kind of just throw Magneto into the Captain America story, it seems a little too big. Like that seems just a little too big. And it also makes more sense for it to be Mr. Sinister because Giancarlo's a little bit older. So it works a little bit better for him to be Mr. Sinister. And it also makes more sense as to why Mr. Sinister would get a series. That makes more sense in telling the story. Don't get me wrong. It would be dope for him to play Magneto, but I still am I'm still a thorough believer in there's some characters that you don't need to change. Like, again, I don't mind them kind of switching people up, kind of like how they did with Selma Hayek in the Eternals. But for Magneto, Magneto has a past and a very in-depth past. So there's no way you're going to convince me that Giancarlo was a part of the Holocaust. You can't just switch that up. That is what makes up Magneto. Like, it is the events of that particular point in history that happened that makes Magneto Magneto. Now, sure, you could change some of these things up for it to be like, oh, it was like this, it's like that. I'm sorry, you just like, those are one of those ones like you have to leave alone. I would see even Charles being changed out before I see Magneto being changed out, just because that particular point in history is what shapes Magneto into becoming the person that he is. And I just do not think that that should be touched. Like I said, I understand everyone else's, a few other people who could be changed up, who could be switched, even to a Scott Summers. I could see Cyclops being cast, with a black person, a Hispanic person, or anyone else. But for someone like Magneto, that is an important part of what makes that character. And I do not think that it should be changed. So that's why I am still leaning towards the fact that Giancarlo will play Mr. Sinister, and especially with this Captain America: A Brave New World, even the title just makes sense for it. Think about it, A Brave New World. We're now seeing a lot of these different people coming in, and we've always seen them with the experimentation of people with powers. You saw Secret Invasion. You've seen what they did in trying to make a super serum of all of the Avengers. It makes sense that Mr. Sinister would be the next person that would be shown to help bridge the gap for the X-Men and for this. And we even saw, I believe it was in the last X-Men film, they showed Mr. Sinister's company. So I think Giancarlo Esposito is going to be cast as Mr. Sinister, and that is the villain that he's going to be playing. So I cannot wait to see that. King Mike Hall said he'd be Magneto from the Black Holocaust. What's the Black Holocaust? Wait a minute. What's the Black Holocaust? Okay, Dominican Republic, Haitian genocide could be his. Again, I can see it, but it's not necessary. Like, it's just not necessary. And I'm just going to be honest with y'all on that. It's not a necessary thing to change. Like, for that character, it's just not. It's not worth us reshaping all of this entire history of Magneto to fit to have this person play it because we want to see it. At some point, again, like, there's things that we want, there's things that we need. We don't need, although we want for Giancarlo Esposito to play Magneto, we don't need it. And that's just one of the harsh realities that we have to face. To JCW, thank you for joining. Yes, I am streaming on other platforms as well. We're on the Arcade Tokens YouTube and Twitch as well. We are on my Twitch channel as well as YouTube and the Shroud of a Comic Book Facebook page. So yeah, multiple channels watching it, man. Just expanding the Shroud of a Comic Book thing and everything like that. So appreciate it. Yeah, Bishop is in there. Storm is in there. Like, it's representation in there. And again, that's why I said to my point, I don't mind if he'd even been cast as Charles. I talk a lot of shit about Charles, but again, his past, that's something that could be slightly altered to where it could be Giancarlo Esposito playing him. But everyone else, like a Magneto, bro, that's such a distinctive story that he has that I just don't want to see them have to alter all of that just so we can see this man portray him. And if you think about it too, that's kind of true. So I'm sticking with Giancarlo Esposito as Magneto. I mean, wow. See what the fuck y'all done to me? I'm seeing Giancarlo Esposito as Mr. Sinister. That's who I think he's being cast as. Giancarlo Esposito is going to be cast as Mr. Sinister. Sage D say, because Charles Xavier is a terrible leader in person. Yes, the fuck he is. Yes, he is. That man is a horrible leader and toxic as fuck. He is the future of the MCU. I hope he drop a mixtape called Dirty Telepath, because that's what you is. Easy Not over on Twitch. He could be bugging out from Do the Right Thing. That someone steps on his shoes and he becomes Magneto. Yo! You just stepped on my wallabies. You already know what that does to me? Yo, if they put that in the movie, I'm done. But King Mike Hall, appreciate that. Yes, Mr. Sinister is an easy fit. But Ladies and gentlemen, that is bringing our episode Straight Out of a Comic Book to an end. I want to thank everybody who joined me on the chat today as we went live. Shout out to Granddaddy Perp, King Mike Hall, Easy Knot, Sage D. Who else we got in here? JCW. Who else? Cream Corn Taz. Love that name, by the way. Just Cheek. Thank y'all so much for coming in here and joining me today. And thank you for all that are watching and checking this out. Be sure that you follow me on all of these platforms. Yes, King Mike Hall, glad that you made it in here as well. Sage D. Jean is going to feature on it. I promise you that on that mixtape. But yes, make sure that y'all like the video when it drops. Comment on it. Subscribe to the channels. And like I said, we got the Straight Out of a Comic Book platform coming out. YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, website, merch, everything is coming out. I'm diving fully into the Straight Out of a Comic Book because it's me, just me. Don't have to be over no shadows or anything else of someone linked to me and stuff like that. This is mine. This is what we sticking with. And starting in August, all of these episodes will come out exclusively on the Straight Out of a Comic Book YouTube and Facebook. You'll get little small 5-minute clips on the Arcade Tokens channel as well as my channel, but Straight Out of a Comic Book will have its own home beginning in August. So look out for that. Look out for the merch coming out for it, going full into this and having other shows with guests, interviews, a full expansion, reviews, everything. Like when I tell y'all, in August, we diving in like we doing now. So stay tuned. I appreciate each and every single one of y'all continuing to rock with me. I hope y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Do something nice for yourself. If the sun is out where you're at, go soak in some sun, breathe in some fresh air, and do something nice for yourself. I've been your host, Will Pharaoh, and I will catch y'all next time. Peace.